Join KCRG TV9 in recognizing the hard work all of our graduates have accomplished this year. Congratulations, graduates.
Hello and welcome to the 64th Washington High School Commencement. This is for the class of 2021. At this time, please rise and remain standing for the processional, the Pledge of Allegiance, and the Star-Spangled Banner. Please rise. Thank you, band and orchestra. At this time, we'd like you to welcome Francois Sweetie, who will lead us in our pledge.
Later, all of the men standing. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the
At this time, I'd like to invite the audience to join in singing the Star Spangled Banner, which will be led by Will Bickle, Sophia Burke, Lydia McInerney, and Ian Wolverton Price.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please welcome Garrett Watson, our Student Senate President, and Sam Arkenberg, our Student Senate Vice President.
Please be seated. Everybody, please be seated. So much power. I know. You got this. Take a deep breath. You got it, man. Nice and slow. Hi, I'm Garrett. I'm the Student Senate Body President. This is our message from Student Senate. Welcome, friends, families in the class of 2021. It is our pleasure to be here with you all today to commemorate the last 4 years of our lives. Our experiences at Washington High School are all unique and special to the people you have met and the places you have been. Even though all our experiences were different, we have each played a crucial role as success and as warriors.
At Wash, we have been put in a position where we have been challenged to be successful. AP classes, show choir, orchestra, band, Crump Squad, and our numerous sports teams are just a few of the activities at Wash that push students to go above and beyond what is expected at school. Yet to us, Student Senate has been the largest contributor to our success.
We have spent countless hours planning and constructing dances. In the moment, it seemed like a waste of time, but seeing our peers enjoying themselves, celebrating together, and forgetting about the stress of school made it worth it. Dances are not the only things we do in Student Senate. We also work to make connections within the community.
helping out our warrior neighbors, cities, and surrounding areas by assisting some elders with cleaning their yards as well as cleaning public and private areas after the derecho. Every year, we have also raised for recently homed families through HACAP to get Thanksgiving meals, as well as staple foods, clothing, household items, and presents for Christmas. These are not just acts of the Senate, though. Without the donations made by the student body and our warrior families, we would not have been able to do any of these.
A couple of months spending time with students of all abilities and circle of friends always brought smiles to our faces and joy to our hearts. Senate is not just a class to us anymore. It is like a family. We would not be where we are today without the help of the magnificent Miss Derrick. She has been with us through thick and thin. Every plan, every group project, every community outreach action, and every community planning session, Derrick has been there. She has guided us through what life can throw at us. When I said we spent endless hours on the dances, Derrick is the mastermind behind all of that. She will spend hours after we leave to fine-tune the details. She has had nothing but the utmost caring and forgiving attitude.
As a class, we have had many successes and struggles in the last 4 years. We are now ready to write the next chapter of our lives and leave high school behind us. We will never forget the lessons we've learned.
A famous expression is, be nice to each other. After all, we're in the same boat. But this expression is far from the truth when it comes to Student Senate. It is more like we are all in the same storm. At times, we face different waves. Some are high, some are low. But if you leave the others, you float away by yourself. But if we lash together, we can get over these waves, meaning we will make it further in life than we ever could as a team. So remember, if you see someone looking down, remind them that we are all in this together and offer them a helping hand.
With that being said, I would like to thank the students, teachers, parents, staff, and all the volunteers who have helped us with events at Wash. Whether it was orientation, commencement, leadership retreat, CDO activities, campus cleanup, dances, or fundraisers, it has really made our time here as a warrior family just that much better. We have met so many amazingly friendly people through Student Senate, and we know we won't forget them anytime soon. Because remember, class of 2021, once a warrior, always a warrior.
Music is very important at Washington High School. Our music ensembles include hundreds of students and are led by our directors, Mr. Jim Miller, Mr. Peter Westphalen, Mrs. Amy Farley, Mr. Andrew Steffen, and Mr. Joel Nagel. We are proud of the outstanding achievements of our vocal and instrumental groups.
You have already heard the Wind Symphony and Symphony Orchestra play in our graduates, with the professional and our senior vocal quartet led us in the national anthem. Later in the program, you will hear the concert choir perform 2 songs, including the Washington alma mater. As we depart, please welcome Gase McKinstry, our senior class secretary.
This evening, I have the honor of introducing the Cedar Rapids Community School District's Board of Education. President Nancy Humbles, Vice President David Tominski, and Directors Jennifer Borcherding, Cindy Garlock, Jennifer Newman, Dexter Merschbrock, and Scott Riesinger. The board members devote countless volunteer hours to our school. We appreciate your efforts as you deal with all of the issues of overseeing our district. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Please welcome Sophia Burke, our senior class treasurer, to recognize our 2021 Washington High School retirees.
Sarah Swayze joined the Cedar Rapids Community School District in 1991 as a substitute para-educator. became a full-time employee in 1994 as a teacher's assistant in the special education program, and started her teaching in 2008. If she's not busy working with students at school, you'll find her at home, reading or attempting to be creative. She will start the new chapter of her life as the president and founder of Empowering Youths of Iowa Incorporated. Help me in honoring Sarah Swayze. Jeff White started his teaching career at Washington High School in 2003. He taught special education in the mild-moderate program. Jeff is looking forward to spending time with his wife, Carol, who is also a Washington retiree, and his children and grandchildren. Again, help me in honoring Jeff White. Chris Parish began his teaching in the fall of 1988 at Keota High School, where he taught for 19 years. He was the science fair coordinator for 18 years. He also served on the board of the Eastern Iowa Science and Engineering Fair in Cedar Rapids. In 2006, he received the Iowa Academy of Sciences Excellence in Science Teaching Award. During the fall of 2007, he came to Washington High School, where he has taught every science subject, his favorite being forensics. He hopes to be remembered as someone that was fair and caring. He is planning on working on old cars and starting the next chapter of his life. He and his wife Julie plan on traveling and enjoying life. Please help me in honoring Chris Parish. Jim Miller started teaching in 1980 and is completing 41 years as a band director. His career began in Iowa and later Wisconsin. In 1989, he accepted the position of Director of Bands for Ponderosa High School in suburban Denver, investing 12 years in the highly competitive program. In addition to winning state championships, the Ponderosa Marching Band made numerous appearances at Mile High Stadium as the featured halftime band for the Denver Broncos. In 2001, he was hired to revitalize the band program at Washington High School. Thus began a 20-year span that saw unprecedented successes for the bands. Jim credits much of the success that the band enjoyed to incredible building leadership and vision by Dr. Plagman and great collaboration with his peers at Washington. He is honored to have spent the last 20 years of his career as a warrior. Please help me in honoring Jim Miller. After graduating from Wartburg College in 1981, Mr. Larry Siemens taught business education for 5 years in Central City, Iowa. He earned a master's degree in secondary school counseling from Truman State University in 1985 and went on to be a K-12 counselor in that same district for 1 year. In the fall of 1987, Mr. Siemens joined the Cedar Rapids Community School District as an elementary counselor serving Hoover and Taft Elementaries. Taft was a K-8 school at that time. Then, in the fall of 1996, Mr. Siemens was hired as a counselor at Washington High School and has spent the past 25 years in that position. All in all, he has enjoyed a 40-year career in education, serving students in levels PK through 12. It has certainly been his pleasure to do that. Please help me in honoring Larry Siemens. Dean Blanchard is a graduate of the University of Northern Iowa with a degree in Industrial Arts Education, and he began his career in education at Sugg Middle School in Lisbon Falls, Maine. After 2 years in Maine, Dean moved to Normal, Illinois to complete his master's degree in school counseling at Illinois State University. With his master's completed, he started his career as a counselor at Belle Plaine High School as the counselor for students in grades 7 through 12. Finally, the opportunity came to move over to Washington High School. Since he had a daughter at Washington, he thought that it would be nice to be in the same school as her and be there when she graduated. 14 years later, after an extremely unusual final year, he made the difficult decision to retire and spend more time relaxing and fishing. Please help me in honoring Dean Blanchard. At this time, Mr. Ballard will be returning to the podium.
Washington Concert Choir will be performing 2 songs tonight. The first is In Meeting We Are Blessed. And after that, we will have our alma mater, which we asked you to rise for. Now, at this time, enjoy some music.
Our
Thank you. At this time, please be seated. Next up, we have a special message from our senior class president, Miss Mylana Douglas.
Congratulations, fellow graduates. We have finally made it, but it hasn't always been easy. I'm talking to you, my Black brothers and sisters, because who else is going to do it? It was your votes that made me senior class president, and I'm the only Black female student giving a speech tonight. Although I've been going to this school for 4 years and have found comfort zones where I can truly be me, doesn't mean that there's always been the right place and the right time to talk about race. We are constantly aware of when it's time to code switch because we have so much practice code switching to make others comfortable. Because since the day we were born, I'm here to say that it's okay to make white people uncomfortable. Just like Miss Wright always says, if you aren't uncomfortable, you aren't growing. It is that discomfort that brings people into the fight for justice, to show up to march and protest, and to lend their voices to the cries for equity. Before you were even born, this country had a specific pathway to failure set up for you. The world, society, and oppressive systems want us to believe that our futures are destined to end in failure. And why not? We have unjust laws, an educational system that is masking the school-to-prison pipeline, and the ability to quit is simply not having a computer, internet, transportation, or any of the basic things that are the foundation for success. In Washington's Retune, Black student unions, Sister to Sisters and Brother to Brothers, mentor Corey Johnson challenged us to know who we are. He asked us to reflect on how the answer to that question influences and impacts the rest of our lives, from our career paths, relationships, and to what we are willing to fight for. I challenge each of you to consider what you have learned in the past few years and to use it to make the future better, for not only yourself, but for those around you in the next chapter of your life. My story starts at Grantwood Elementary, where there was only one adult who looked like me, and she was my principal, Miss Day Williams. Every other adult in the building, every teacher, every student teacher, and even the entire lunchroom staff were white. The majority of my classmates were too. The one example of Black leadership in my building was the person I got to interact with the least. It wasn't until a couple years ago at Wash where I learned that there are white people who have my back, like Miss Bukite, Mr. Glenn Angel, and Miss Derrick. However, the first step that led me to embracing my Blackness, ironically, was joining the Warrior Steppers at Washington with Miss Swayze as coach. In step, we stomp our feet so others can feel it. We make big movements so all can see it. We move in synchronized rhythm so our message is clear. And we use our loudest voices to make sure we are heard. Because our story deserves to be told. Our lives matter. Through my participation in the Academy for Scholastic and Personal Success with Dr. White, I learned how to use my privilege to be an example of Black excellence. One of her mantras I'll always remember is, "You don't know what you don't know until you know." Once we know better, we have to do better. That helps us guide others down their own path to greatness. The experience of surrounding myself with those who dealt with the same prejudices, stereotypes, and racism that I've always dealt with and kept inside showed me how to speak up, be heard, and reach out to those who didn't know who they were either. Joining Washington's award-winning Black History Quiz Bowl team forced me to learn about my culture and my history. Wash's African American literature class allowed me a safe place to voice my opinions in class and on assignments without fear of being judged. All of these experiences empowered me to be available to talk about sensitive cultural issues outside of the class with confidence, like I'm doing right now. If you were like me when entering high school, your plan was to try all the things, look up to all the upperclassmen, and to prepare for your dream job that you already had in mind. Now looking back, that plan didn't work out the way you thought it would. Or maybe it did and mine just didn't. I never thought I would find myself on stage as senior class president, rallying my classmates to take the path you want for your unique self. But here I am telling you that nobody has the right to tell you who you are or how you're supposed to be. As poet and playwright, Oscar Wilde is credited with saying, "Be yourself, everyone else is taken." When you walk out of here tonight with a diploma in your hand, remember I did not say these things to bring you comfort, but to inspire you to tell your story and to be heard. I will now introduce Aaliyah Penn, our Vice President of the senior class.
We are pleased to introduce the students who have earned the title of Salutatorian. At our school, students who complete high school with cumulative grade point averages between 3.95 and 3.99 receive Salutatorian medals. After they are introduced, we will congratulate them with our applause. Please stand when your name is called and remain standing. We'll applaud after all have stood. Andrew Freeman, Matthew Gearhart, Dion Harrison, Daniel Hughes, Lydia McInerney, Indica Muchler, Amaya Nelson, and Benjamin Chica. I will now introduce Isabella Blocklinger, our Adastra President, and Alyssa McCormick, our Adastra Vice President.
We have the privilege of introducing the members of our class who finished their high school careers with a cumulative grade point average above a 4.0. Here then are the students in the class of 2021 who have earned the distinction of valedictorianism. Please stand when your name is called or remain standing. We'll applaud after all has been said.
Logan Bentley, Will Bickle, Karima Brown, Sophia Burke, Casey Christensen, Henry Clymer, Connor Cruz, Ella Davis, Michaela Davis, Sophia Davis, Joseph Ellisise, Trevor Erb, Alish Fashionpar, Savannah Franklin, Rachel Juvenary, Priya Kearney, Katya Clayman, Elizabeth Cole, Jesse Kuzer, Sophia Lenzer, Henry Len, Perry Lindeman, Sophia Linwall, Jason Lee, Elissa McCormick, Mason McBride, Mats McGrath, Grace McKinstry, Sid Mitvalsky, Ella Mortensen, Josephine Norris, Ethan Ullert, Olivia Parsons, Aaliyah Penn, Diego Ramirez, Abigail Reister, Kavin Riley, Nicholas Ryan, Trevor Shagshog, Justin Sherman, Ivy Staub, Ethan Stout, Willa Stroshine, Abigail Thronson, Ella Toms, Caleb Walker, Garrett Watson, Kyle Wilson, Lane Wilson, Ian Wolverton Weiss, and Grayson Zilstra. Do I say that?
You say that, and then I say that.
Valedictorians, please be seated.
Traditionally at Washington, the 3 valedictorians with the highest grade point average have the honor of speaking. Ladies and gentlemen, with the 3rd highest, Grace McKinstry.
Although this past year, for most of us, has consisted of setting our alarms for 7:49 to join our 7:50 a.m. Google Meet while still half asleep in our beds, I'm sorry, Mr. No, the class of 2021 has received a unique definition of a well-rounded education. As normal as our freshman and sophomore years feel as we reminisce, the truth is, days at Washington High School have always been everything but a typical experience. While we have gone through the motions of an average high school routine, like doing a whole chapter of 8-push notes in one sitting or panicking when we get called on in the middle of our daydreams, it's the people who operate, teach, and learn in our school who make it particularly remarkable. When I think about Washington's distinctive assets, I immediately reflect on the countless number of opportunities the school provides to showcase students' individuality. Whether it's setting up the stage for the rock stars of the school, giving the spotlight to our beloved Washington Steppers, or providing a space for the Flat Earth Club to meet, there's a place for everyone at Washington High School to be part of something that they are passionate about. Regardless of who you are or where you come from, the students and staff at WASH have always accepted and acknowledged people who are different, which is an attitude that will stick with all of us wherever we end up. While there's limitless value in academic success, the character building that our school offers is just as critical to our futures. It's the perseverance, determination, and outlook that WASH has ingrained in us since freshman orientation eons ago that most of us have already put into play throughout these hard times. Despite having no idea that an inland hurricane would mightily plow through our community, or that we'd be living through a pandemic, we have been equipped to utilize our mental strength to truck through these unforeseeable times. Although I'm sure that nobody whipped out the quadratic formula to solve either of these problems, it's certain that the mounds of frustration that resulted from whatever calculus is helped raise our tolerance levels to challenges that come our way. It's the stories teachers tell us when they get distracted from their lessons, like Dewar's hitchhiking sagas or Mr. Hill showing off his duck calls, and the side conversations with our peers that we learn the most about one another and the true qualities of a warrior. Even though I have been just a fellow polka dot with my first initial in the Google Meet to most of you this past year and our time together has been cut short, The talent, integrity, and intelligence the class of 2021 has continuously demonstrated will not be forgotten. Normal or average will never be adjectives that come to mind when I think about this graduating class or the circumstances we've all been put through. But really, who wants to be just average anyway? Please welcome Elise Fashion-Parr, who earned the second highest grade point average in our class.
Let's cut to the chase. Our senior year wasn't what we would have wanted it to be. We had lots of supportive faculty members and student leaders that helped get some normalcy back, like drama productions, football games, prom, and this. But we all know that there just isn't any replacing what we had been expecting since our first days at Washington High School, and it's important to acknowledge that. However, if you follow the doctrine of determinism, much like Mr. Sloma, then you know that this was the only possible outcome for our senior year, and there was nothing else that could have happened. Then again, Mr. Sloma likes black licorice, so maybe his opinion can't completely be trusted. Aside from that, I don't have much to say to you all, especially anything of unique substance. Although, honestly, no one should be listening to someone they saw once in a hallway for advice, so I'll just say something valuable to me, and maybe it will resonate with you. As high school comes to a close, we all tend to look back and measure how far we have come, how successful we are. Maybe it's by how many track meets you won, or by how many times you made it to All-State, or by how few times you were told politely by Mr. Hill to be quiet for once. That is the key, though. Success is measured differently depending on who you are and what goals you have. There is a prevailing idea in society about what a successful life would look like. Graduating from the top college before getting a steady, high-paying job, and then living with a spouse and kids in suburbia. However, we all know that that's not what everyone wants. And if someone isn't working towards that goal, they aren't failing. They're succeeding at something else. Success cannot be universally defined. It is personal. Success is instead defined by your goals and how close you are to achieving them. Goals are decisions that an individual makes. And sure, they'll be remade again and again, but it is all up to you. The goal you make should be something that would make you happy. High school graduates, picture your goal. If your goal is to go to college, great. If it's to continue working, great. If it's to go into the military, or trade school, or traveling, or anything I didn't mention, great. I think the world would find it shameful if earnest, unique students like ourselves didn't follow our passions. Finding a goal, even to work toward in the moment, is an achievement and is success. The other part of any goal is how you get to it. Having a strong character, dedication, integrity, and honesty combined with your goal is what makes someone successful. It isn't just the fact that you achieved something, but that you achieved it as a person of character. In all this talk of individual successes, it is worth reiterating just how important the individual aspect is. One of the things WASH does well is celebrating differences and welcoming diversity of all types. We're all bright, passionate people who can amount to great things and be successful. So please, graduates, don't look around you, whether it's now, or in a year, or 10 years, and compare yourself to where someone else is. No one else can tell you how successful you are. Just remember to tell yourself. All of us sitting here today are already successful. No, we're not all state champions. No, we're not all straight-A students. No, we can't all be Sophia Burke. But we are all Washington warriors, which means we're resilient, successful students who will go out into the world and strive for whatever goals we set out to achieve, with nothing but the highest standards. So thank you, Washington High School, for giving us the time and place to express ourselves and succeed. Thank you, parents, for putting up with us moody teenagers. And thank you, teachers, for putting up with the moody parents. And thank you all for being a part of the class of 2021. We don't know what tomorrow will bring, but at least we know that everything it brings would be the only possible outcome. And I believe that today, and every day, is destined to be a great day to be a warrior. Thank you. It may seem amiss to see 53 valedictorians in your program. However, we award the valedictorian distinction to students that earn a cumulative GPA of 4.0 or higher. Two factors have made it possible for students to earn GPAs above a 4.0. The first factor was the implementation of the plus and minus grades beginning with the 1987-1988 school year. An A+ has a value of 4.33. The second factor was the implementation of weighted grades for advanced placement courses, a change that also began in 1987. An A in AP courses is valued at a 5.0. Our school believes that the clear target of 4.0 for valedictorian status is a powerful motivator for many students. Most of tonight's valedictorians set the goal of graduating with a GPA of 4.0 in their freshman year or even earlier. I now have the honor of introducing Henry Lynn, who earned the highest GPA in our class.
Welcome, fellow warriors, as well as friends and families of the class of 2021. My name is Henry Lynn, and I am honored to stand before you today. I am here to share with you what I have learned and gained from my time as a warrior of George Washington High School. Some of you may be thinking right now, of course, he's an Asian. Others may be thinking that this is another boring speech. Even a few of you might be thinking, I should be the one up there right now. Trevor Matz. Whatever you may be thinking, I would like to thank you all for making it here. It has been a very rough four-year adventure for the class of 2021 here at Wash. I don't mean that Wash has been bad, but with COVID-19, as well as the unprecedented damage from the derecho that happened, which completely upended our expectations of how we wanted to end our senior year. Despite all of that, we have managed to remain steadfast and finish strong. I'd like to thank Mr. Ballard, Mr. LeMaster, Ms. Kane, and Mrs. Schumacher, and all of the staff and teachers who have worked tirelessly to make this unique school year happen amid the chaos. My experiences with my classmates will always be my most cherished memories, except maybe when I first hold hands with a girl I care about, outside of my mom and sister. Today is the day we have all become graduates. From today onward, we will journey into the unknown and take risks for ourselves. The least that we can bring with us are the lessons and experiences that we have obtained at Wash that will allow us to remain successful, even against the harshest adversities. Those of you that know me know that I don't have a life outside of school, work, and sleep, quite literally. Outside of right now, I don't have any experience on the stage, the clubs, or in sports, nor do I hang out with friends during my free time, because I don't have free time. However, I have managed to make friends who have allowed me to become who I am today. I kept my sights on my goal and became valedictorian. The first thing that I will stress is to be motivated. Now I know that sounds cheesy and easy to say, but when you have a goal in front of you, whether that to be buy something you've always wanted, get rich, or even just to get out of your parents' house and try forth on your own, focusing on that goal will bring passion into your actions. It will motivate you to continue despite not wanting to. I'm sure that every single one of us here has had a day where we just don't want to go to class, but we still do. Why? Because we want to achieve something and won't let a bad day stop us. Now, I know that we are all busy people with sports, clubs, and work on top of school. To manage all of that requires a certain amount of skill. You need to have time management skills, or, as I like to call it, proper procrastination skills. With each grade, I have become increasingly professional in the art of procrastination. Procrastination doesn't work for everybody. I mean, time management differs from person to person. And you need to know what works for you. This applies to nearly everything in life. The goal is to not pull all-nighters. It's okay to push things back, but it's not okay to keep pushing it back. The very last thing that I want to stress here today is that this seat of mine, this position of number 1 GPA in the class, is not necessarily an indicator of success. Just because you didn't earn the highest GPA doesn't mean you won't be successful in the future. Each and every single one of us is a diamond in the rough. Some of us are already shining, while others still need some polishing. I have a friend who skips classes often, but he likes to calculate the orbit of a satellite in a game for fun. Who does that? The point being, even if you haven't found your academic niche, doesn't mean you won't shine. Each one of you is unique, and I look forward to soaring the skies with you. Now, Priya Kearney, our Dasher Secretary, will introduce the district administrators and the principal's secretary.
Amanda Schumacher is in her second year as principal secretary. She has been a part of Washington High School's secretarial team for 8 years, serving as associate principal secretary for 3 years. Please join me in welcoming Executive Director of High Schools, Cynthia Phillips. Ms. Phillips supports all aspects of high school education in our district and has been instrumental in the planning of this in-person graduation ceremony. Deputy Superintendent Nicole Quaker, who is responsible for direct administrative supervision of the Office of Learning and Leadership, supporting learning from pre-K to 12th grade, and Superintendent Noreen Bush. Mrs. Bush was named Superintendent of the Cedar Rapids Community School District in 2019 and continues to work tirelessly, advocating for students, improving systems to achieve our vision and mission, and focusing on results to assure all students are ready for their future. At this time, please welcome Principal Ballard.
Thank you. I'm going to take this mask off. All right, so anybody out there who likes to read along with speeches, don't do it for this one. It's a little different than the printed version. Check it out later while you peruse the program, which features our brand new Warrior Alumni Scholarship, by the way. So, that concludes my shameless plug. I'm going to have my front row students take their other seats real quick. Class of 2021, your day has come. I am so proud of each and every one of you. Every year, we say this is an accomplishment to be proud of. And that's true. It's especially true this year. How do we get here? Well, before March of 2020, this class was building on the success of its predecessors. They were trying and achieving with the best of them. They were in the classroom, courts, fields, and stages, locking in on being great students. We saw Sophia Burke as Morticia Adams in the star-studded Adams family, and I swear I still occasionally saw posters of Sophie Linwall, whom I still call Pippi Longstockings to this day. Henry Clymer was exerting his brand of positive and team-first dominance in multiple sports, whether his hair was short or long. Mason McBride was challenging me to go to leadership retreats with her own brand of humor. "You have to spend the night there," she'd say. "I was not born to rough it," is what I'd say. People like Katya Klayman were coming to see me to challenge my views passionately on what it meant to be ready for a calc-based AP Physics class. Now, I don't know how many of you know Katya, but when she's passionate, you'll know. You can tell. Andrew Freeman was teaching me about grace and character in handling challenging situations. Grace McKinstry was spending her time teaching Sean how to be a good superfan at our games. Cora Barton was introducing me and the world with pride in her eyes and a grin on her face to Tyrone. Now, Tyrone is a chicken. Coincidentally, Tyrone is a hen, not a rooster, by the way. Ella Shaw just kept dancing away in the cafeteria. Yeah. Wyatt Kane and Joey Ellisice were hyping me up about school the next day while we'd be shopping at Hy-Vee. Dion Harrison and Mylana Douglas, stepper names Neon and Dougie, that group right there was teaching our teachers how to step for our school's Black Excellence Assembly. By the way, we've been having that assembly for 5 years now. First school in the area. Also, first school in the area to have a Black student union, too. But since I brought up assemblies, I have to mention one more memory of those early years. This class was competing at assemblies and losing to teachers just like everybody else. Shout out to MVPs Nell, Fitz, and Moran. If you forgot, Moran was the chubby bunny champ that year, and Fitz took water to the back and the head in Water War, courtesy of Miss Martin. Yeah, that all happened to this class too, before 2020. And in 2020, things changed. We suspended in-building learning for nearly 9 months. We survived the third most expensive thunderstorm in the last 40 years at $7.5 billion. We changed rules constantly for interactions both during class time and beyond. Let's not forget about the social and cultural events that have swirled the last 12 months. We have all faced adversity, and that is an understatement. However, that adversity has not caused this class to buckle or waver. Instead, adversity has forged us and them to be stronger, more flexible, and better. Adversity has challenged this class to think differently. They have embraced that different thinking to develop alternative ways to hold every significant event this senior year. We've had assemblies, dance parties, sporting events, a musical, fine arts competitions, the senior send-off, and concerts. By the way, due to you, your families, and our staff, we had arguably the most comprehensive and inclusive prom ever. That alone is a point of pride. So many people didn't even go for it. We did, and we did it well. People from other schools came to ours and were wowed. Completing and competing wasn't enough for this class, though. We have achieved too. Just this year alone, this class has 12 academic all-staters, 6 triathleters, and 6 all-staters who earned 10 awards. The swim team finished 12th at state, and our ladies basketball team was just a heartbeat away from their first state berth in years. In music, we had 20 different students contribute to our 47 all-state honors, and Slice of Jazz took 6th for the entire state. Speech had 19 different students qualify for their 56 all-state honors we earned. And debate, led by Elizabeth Kern, was the state champion this year. By the way, Elizabeth was also a member of committee WHS this year. That's also a big deal. Drama hosted 2 plays this year, with one being the musical, The Little Mermaid. From having an astounding number of all-staters in fine arts to winning championships in debate, we have achieved. That doesn't count the records being broken in bowling, the names that were added to the wall on the pool deck, the numerous state competitors in our sports programs, or the sub-state finishes in so many of our sports. Class of 2021, I am very proud of you. In academics, these students didn't lower their course loads or expectations either. Instead, they remained in their predetermined and rigorous courses. Before semester 2, this class had already earned 13,805 credits over its years and maintained a median GPA of a 3.1. It is impressive that this class has over 172, or 55% of its members, having a 3.0 or higher. Give yourselves a round of applause. But in addition to that, you weren't content with just earning high school credits. This class has earned nearly 100 credits from AP test scores alone before this May. We won't even get the results back for this year until June or July, so we can expect that total to climb. That doesn't factor in the students who have earned credit through concurrent enrollment courses or Kirkwood dual credit enrollment. It would be reasonable to guess that after the final grades are all entered and tabulated from this spring, this class of less than 300 students will have nearly 200 college credits earned, and all before even starting their college experience. Students who will have earned college credit from either AP, concurrent enrollment, or dual enrollment, please stand so we can recognize you especially at this time. All right, you can sit back down now. There we go. It's good. Hundreds of credits for the next level show me, Superintendent Bush, that the Washington learners are
future ready.
Yes, they are future ready. It also tells me, like our vision, my Washington Warriors have been empowered. Class of 2021, I commend you for learning a new way to do school and for challenging my teachers and myself to bring it daily. We've had to get better for you. You were there every day, ready to learn. We needed to figure out how to engage you differently. Even though sometimes we get consumed with what we teach you, our school will be better for what you taught us this year. But I am not most proud of this class due to its participation or even its accomplishments. I am most proud of what it takes to participate and succeed given all you've experienced, and that is courage. Courage defines this class. This class has had the courage all year long to ask, why not? This class has had the courage to wonder and think through that question. Service projects like volunteering at the hospital, planting trees on our own grounds, cleaning the neighborhoods, redesigning the Washington traditions to fit, exemplify the why not attitude, and the perseverance saw the work get done. We've all faltered at times in our lives, but this class did not abandon their path. They did not become discouraged, and they did not allow adversity to alter their course through their high school experience. Instead, they passionately fought back. That makes me proudest of all. Seeing the courage on display and the perseverance to continue their pursuits has made me connect with what I believe to be one of the most powerful emotions of all, and that's hope. Seeing what these students have accomplished over the last 4 years gives me hope. Hope because these days have been bright despite the darkness surrounding them. Hope because the brightness from the class of 2021 is one of the reasons why. I have hope that their legacy at Washington High School will motivate and inspire the underclassmen before them. I have hope that the work in the community that the students spearheaded over the last year will continue, and they will be the driving force to see meaningful and sustained change. I have hope that these Washington students are not just global citizens or students of life. They will be the difference makers that the world needs, maybe now more than ever before. I have hope that I can take the lessons that they have taught me this year about flexibility, courage, and hope, despite what's in front of me, and apply them to this brand new job as principal of Washington High School. Ella, Sophie, plus Mama and Papa Davis helped me understand how enormous this is. And they showed me what support means too, just like many of you. Thank you, class of 2021. I would not be here today, and I would not be the man I am today without what you've taught me this year. Now, your community, your parents, your faculty and peers take this moment to celebrate you today. You have given us so much over the past 4 years, and you have changed us all, and we appreciate the indelible mark that you are leaving behind. We owe you something now. We will continue the work that you've started. We won't buckle. We won't waver. We will make the difference with you. We all thank you. Everyone, join me in celebrating this wonderful class of 2021. Now, ladies and gents, please welcome Superintendent Noreen Bush to congratulate and certify the Washington High School class of 2021.
I'll keep this very short. There's a script here, I'm going to read it, but I just want to talk to the heart of the warriors on the floor here for just a moment. The student speeches that have been here tonight, the words of your principal, Principal Ballard, and even the conversations I had prior to this moment is so deep in warrior pride. It is absolutely every day a great day to be a warrior, and you will always be warriors. The culture of Washington is very special, and I would just have one more note for every graduate. Find your joy, pursue your joy, and you will find success and fulfillment for the rest of your life. And yes, these past couple of years have given you new perspective, and use that perspective to your forever advantage. We at the Cedar Rapids Community School District are so very, very proud of the class of 2021. So with that, let's go, warriors, members of the board. Ladies and gentlemen, the members of this Washington High School class of 2021 have met the requirements set forth in district policy and state law. Therefore, we are at this time prepared to present them with their diplomas. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Thank you, Superintendent Bush. The following faculty members will be announcing our 2021 graduates, and they are Senior Burke, Mr. Cruz, Ms. Roundtree, Mr. Sherman, Mr. Shaw, and finally, Mr. Thronson and Calpon is right there, Ms. Kearney. Please stand, all of you, so you can be recognized. And I believe Mr. Burke is up first.
All right, are you ready? Here we go. Madeline Anderson. Owen Anderson. Tyler Anderson. Samuel Arkenberg. Gianna Avis. Emilio Barrios. Cora Barton. Alton Bauer. Megan Bennett. Logan Bentley. Sarah Bentz. Anders Bergstrom. Will Bickle. Leo Bishop. Maxwell Bjornson. Owen Blader. William Blader. Isabella Blocklinger. Mia Breitbart. Sophia Brems. Abigail Brinton. Jocelyn Brock. Karima Brown. Kaya Brown Alexander. Zane Buford. Billy Birch. Sophia Burke. Jacoby Butler. Rosette Biondo. Landon Bees. Wyatt Kane. Jalen Kalinsky. Marley Callahan. Imoni Cardine. Benjamin Casey. Lucas Chase. Mario Chavez. Keandre China. Cooper Chinlin. Kobe Chinlin. Casey Christensen. Madeline Clark. Henry Clymer. Alexis Coleman. Samuel Cooper. Lucas Corey.
Connor Cruz. Ethan Danley. Ella Davis. Michaela Davis. Sophia Davis. Jaden Demunda. Raven Doctorman. Mylana Douglas. Alan Doyle. Quinn Dunn. Travion Dunn Pennington. Jerice Duvet. Zane Eastman. Joseph Ellisise. Lucas Engeldow. Sydney Engeldow. Danielle Eniola. Trevor Erb. Blue Esposito. Elise Fashionpower. Kylie Fanolio. Luke Faring. Caden Fields. Joy Finley. Joseph Foreman. Robert Forrest. Savannah Franklin. Andrew Freeman. Zoe Fuller. Juan Garcia. Matthew Gearhart. Daisha Gibson. Michael Gibson. Keegan Gillespie. Destiny Glover. Leani Grisby. Haley Gunderson. Marlo Hamilton. Trinity Hansen. DeMarcus Hare. Gwen Harney. Dion Harrison. Devin Hassick. Caden Hecker. Abigail Heltkent. Aiden Helly.
Dakota Herber. Kylie Herr. Blythe Hying. Darian Hires. Makia Hoffman. Gabriel Hopkins. William Ironside. Isaac Jacobo. Alexis Janacek. Nicholas Janasek. Kylie Jennings. Maya Jensen. David Johnson. Alize Jones. Rachel Juvenary. Mose Kamboa. Nicholas Canellis. Du Contende. Gideon Contende. Priya Kearney. Trace Kirk. Katia Clayman.
Dylan Knapp. Kayla Knox. Peyton Koch. Elizabeth Collin. Jesse Kuzer. Ashlyn Kreminga. Nyamal Kwan. Gabrielle LaHill. Sophia Linzer. Kyle Lewis. Nicholas Limbert. Henry Lynn. Perry Lindemann. Sophia Linwald. Congratulations. Madison Long. Jason Lee. Elisa McCormick. Chloe Malone. Congratulations. Miranda Margaret. Thaddeus Marner. Jacob Moreno. Dylan Massey.
Mason McBride. Justin McCarley, Patrick McCarley, Marin McCollum, Matt McGrath, Lydia McInerney, Grace McKinstry, Austin McMahon, Pasip Menge, Olivia Metzger, Jack Meyer Boothby, Sydney Mitvolsky, Sky Monty, Seth Moore, Victoria Maury Geisinger, Ella Mortensen, Maeve Murphy, Jonathan Murray, Indica Muchler, Kyle Neighbors, Amaya Nelson, Lindsay Neeland, Rianne Nothi, Sarah Noak, John Noonan, Josephine Norris, Cameron Northness, Carver Novak, Ezekiel Novetsky, Abigail O'Connell, Luciana O'Donnell, Ethan Ollert, Samori O'Neill, Trevor Orm, William Parker, Keziah Paris, Chiron Paris, Olivia Parsons, Emily Paz Padilla, Aaliyah Penn, Alan Perez, Maxwell Perez, Olivia Pernica,
Isaiah Perry, Rachel Pickup, Sage Plaguey, Nicholas Posacani, Lee Prostine, Carmen Ramirez, Diego Ramirez, Jaden Ray, Sydney Richards,
Abigail Reister. Kevin Riley. Ryan Rinnerknecht. Connor Reese. Draven Ritter. Jaheim Roberts. Anicia Robinson. Chloe Robinson. Ellie Rockwell. Trevor Rosendahl. Stephen Ross. Zarin Ross Carr.
Yes, amen. Hallelujah. Miss Dynasty Roundtree. Woo!
Alexander Rostasil. Tiffany Rule. Nicholas Ryan. Abigail Sidoris. Alexandra Sarche. Zoe Shaw.
Justin Mark Sherman.
Blaze Schmidt. Mark Seegers. Samantha Semmelroth. Brasia Servin. Rayleigh Shanahan. Ella Shaw. Evian Shaw. Benjamin Shika. Tyler Sherman. Madison Shriver. Naudis Sikarsky. Calvin Smith. Holland Smith. Marquise Sneed. Caleb Solomon. Emma Sorg.
Ivy Staub.
Kaya Stefan. Matthew Stephenson. Ethan Stout. Kylie Strasser. Willa Stroshine. Kendall Sahanic. Contessa Serbeck. Rosetta Serbeck. Francois Sweetie. Walter Sykes. Milo Sikora. Joseph Tauber. Amaya Taylor. Cameron Taylor. Amani Taylor. Isaac Taylor. Ronisha Tekau. Ellie Thompson. Jordan Thompson. Abigail Thronson. Peja Thurn. Ethan Jaden. Wyatt Jaden. Isaac Tominski. Ella Toms. Natalie Turner. DC Tutt. Quincy Underwood. Afisa Uwamana. Jean-Pierre Van Horn. Mason Ward. Garrett Watson. Gavin Watson. Jasmine Watson. Bannock Wenzel. Finnegan West. Araya Westmoreland. Ilanisha Williams. Kyle Wilson. Lane Wilson. Ian Wolverton Weiss. Travell Wright. Kirsten Yates. Zabibu Zakaria. Daniel Zek. Grayson Zilstra.
I now present to you the Washington High School graduating class of 2021. I could have just let him clap the whole time. Now, before we go, we have a photo slideshow for your viewing pleasure, and we will have our recessional upon the conclusion of our presentation. Our friends at KCRG, press play. Thank you.